It's sportsnewsandbrews.com, or you can go back to 2lifestewsradio.com and go back through the archives. You have to go back about 2 weeks, and you'll see the HBCU report, Battle of the Real HU. But anyway, I get this text, and it's like, Rob, heard your boy was out at Hampton. And I'm like, what? He's out at Hampton? Who? So I got the text back, said Maynard. So, of course, I go look, and yeah, he stepped down. Unbelievable. I haven't talked to him, but it's unbelievable that so much stuff was going on up there in Hampton. I mean, they ended up getting the victory over a Howard team that, had they won, would have won a share of the MEAC and been eligible for the playoffs. But unbelievable that just 2 days after the season, so that would have been that Monday, last Monday, that Connell Maynard stepped down from Hampton University as they were making their transition. But, in my opinion, because people were asking, and I'll just say it because I can't give my opinion. In my opinion, I believe that I honestly believe that they are going to go with someone of another persuasion, maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying. It would be a good look, maybe. Going to, I don't know. Shut up, Rob. Just shut up. James Spady, my homeboy. James Spady, 15-30 in 4 seasons at A&M, including a 4-7 season this year. Man, I hate to see this brother go. But the real conversation is, and then, of course, Alex Wood at FAMU. Nobody's winning at FAMU right now, so that's that. Jesus couldn't win at FAMU right now. I don't know what's going on with FAMU. I was just on Twitter talking about that the other day. And this is the HBCU report being heard via 2lifestewsradio.com. In addition to 2lifestewsradio.com, you can also hear us via the TuneIn Radio app, and we're available on demand via Google Play for Android and iTunes. So there's that. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Enjoy it. Anytime you want to relive it, you can. But yeah, I just don't know how or what some of these HBCU institutions are thinking about. You bring a coach in from a D1 institution, and I'm not just talking about Coach Spady. I'm talking about any coach. But you bring them in from a D1 institution because you like what they said in the interview. You like everything that they talked about. I'm sure they told you what type of things they had at the institution that they were coming from or they were currently at. And, you were like, oh, yeah, well, we're committed to doing this and committed to doing that. And then you don't do it. Coach Spady, for sure, came from an institution that had top-notch facilities in Nevada out there when Colin Kaepernick was quarterback. So he came from a place that had top-notch facilities, top-notch medical staff, top-notch everything. You tell him you're going to meet him halfway, and you don't. And I'm not saying that this is anything that Coach Spady has told me, because me and Coach Spady have had absolutely no conversation about anything since he left A&M. All right? But I'm just saying, or during his time there. I'm just using him as an example. You don't give a coach the tools necessary, and then you look at them crazy when the results are what they are. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Some of these coaches actually had it. Some of them didn't. But I know for sure, when I look through this list, I know that there are some coaches. The verdict is still out, in my opinion, on Brian Jenkins. Just the simple fact that he went 0-5 this season and less than stellar record at Bama State. He was awesome at Bethune, but less than stellar record at State. But he went 0-5, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, Coach Hill Ely finished the season. The interim head coach finished the season 5-1. So maybe just the SWAC just not for him. You know how it's always a right fit in a certain conference because they play a style of ball? And so maybe that's what it is for Coach Jenkins. Maybe the MEAC is more of his flavor. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the SWAC, I don't know. Anyway, but the verdict is still out on him. He'll have to get one more job and stay there at least 3 years for me to be able to come up with a final verdict. I like the dude, though. Good friend of the show. Probably appeared on this show more than any other coach in the 6 years that we've been doing it. So, all right. So I think I got a little long-winded there. 20 minutes? Whoa, Rob. And I still haven't talked about everything I want to talk about. Yeah, because it ain't safe. Yeah, coming up. Yeah, we'll talk about that after these interviews, man. I'm going to just be real with you. If you're a brother out there and you touched any woman or you said anything to any woman, Lord forbid you a Q dog. All the Q dogs, all the Q dogs in high places, I promise y'all, Doug Stewart, Ryan Stewart, it ain't safe. It ain't safe. If you're a brother out here, it ain't safe. Not even a brother, just a man. It ain't safe out here. If you did anything wrong, we're going to talk more about that after these interviews. But coming up, we got Coach Broderick Fobbs, head football coach of the Grambling State University Tigers, going to join the show as we get you ready for today's final SWAC football championship. Well, they say it's the final one. They saying a lot of stuff out the SWAC. They say Dewar Sharp, the commissioner, is stepping down as well. That I don't know. But anyway, Broderick Fobbs joins the show coming up in just a second. And we'll also talk with Fred McNair, the head football coach of the Alcorn State University Braves. The game, 3:30 Central from NRG Stadium. Wish I could be there. I really do. I really do. This the final one? Or at least that's what they say. Man, I wish I could be there. This is the HBCU Report. Rob Calloway hanging out with you another Saturday morning. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget, when we're not here, we're there. There is sportsnewsandbrews.com. Follow us on social media, Instagram and Twitter at HBCU Report. And we'll be right back with our homie, Broderick Fobbs. Coming up next, right here, HBCU Report.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cold time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
HBCU sports fans, you finally have a voice. The HBCU experience lives here. This is the HBCU Report with Rob Calloway.
This is the HBCU Report, being heard via 2LifeStewsRadio.com. Rob Calloway here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Another great Saturday morning. To be talking football action, college football action. And coming up this afternoon, we have a 3:30 Central kickoff from NRG Stadium. It is the final SWAC football championship between the Grambling State University Tigers and the Alcorn State Braves. And right now we're being joined on the line by none other than Broderick Fobbs, head football coach of the legendary Grambling State University Tigers. First of all, Coach, welcome back to the show.
Well, it's good to be here. You know, it's an exciting time. I'm fortunate, and our team is fortunate to be playing in the final, SWAC championship football contest in NRG Stadium. And we're just elated, to have the opportunity to play for a championship.
Absolutely. Now, I haven't talked to you or seen you since post-game of last year's Celebration Bowl. So I got to ask, what was the response on campus and in the state of Louisiana after winning that HBCU national championship?
Well, I tell you, it was exciting, but also extremely, extremely tiring. It's just one of those situations where everyone wants a piece of you. Everyone wants your team or yourself to be a part of whatever event. And it's part of it. It comes with the territory, but I'm so excited and so glad, that we had the opportunity to play in it last year and be effective and be dominant. And we're looking forward to, playing well this season.
Absolutely. Now, last weekend, the Tigers defeated the arch rival Southern University Jaguars 30-21 in the Bayou Classic to reach your third straight SWAC football championship. Now, we've talked about the necessity for a competitive rivalry between the two teams because, right before you got there, as you know, they were, trying to find a way to slide Grambling out or whatnot. But after packing out the Mercedes-Benz Superdome with over 66,000 fans, I think that it's safe to say that the game is alive and well. What are your thoughts?
Well, I just think it's very disrespectful for anyone to allow that to come out of their mouth, and I'm still looking for that person who said that, to make that statement because, it was Coach Robinson's idea. It was Coach Robinson's dream. It was Coach Robinson's vision. And to even mention that, that is so disrespectful, and it says a lot about the people that made those statements.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is the HBCU Report. Rob Calloway here, being joined on the line by Broderick Fobbs. He is the head football coach of the Grambling State University Tigers. The Tigers in action this afternoon, a 3:30 Central kickoff from NRG Stadium. It is the SWAC Football Championship as they take on the Alcorn State Braves. Now, after wrapping up another successful regular season, how would this season compare to your previous three, Coach?
Well, I tell you, this season, we've gone through a season where we really are learning and knowing our football team. I thought this season we knew our players a lot more and a lot closer than we have in the past, and that just comes with the territory. When you're around a certain number of kids for more years, then of course you're going to know them a little bit better, which allowed us to put them in really good situations in order to be successful this season. And I think this season we've been a lot more balanced when it comes to all three phases of the game. We've been very, very dominant in all three phases on defense, offense, and in the kicking game. In the past, we've been very, very good in maybe two of the three or one of the three. So I think that, this year it's more of a shared approach, and our kids are, splitting a lot of time with each other. So this time of year, we're expecting them to be fresh and playing their best football.
Absolutely. Now, when you look at the offensive side of the ball, the one guy that everybody knows about is the transfer that you guys have over there at quarterback, Devontae Kincaid. But one guy that kind of flies under the radar, for some, SWAC football fans know your senior running back, Martez Carter, who looks like, he's re-energized at the right time. Talk to us.
He's a great player, and I don't think if you mention his name to any of the coaches in our league that they would say he's flying on the radar. They know who he is. So we're just fortunate to have him. He's been a very, very dominant player for us in several phases. Just a heck of a football player that can affect the game in many different ways. And that's the type of players we try to recruit. We try to recruit guys that can affect the game in more than one way. And if you have guys like that on your team, then you have a chance to be dominant in many different areas.
Now, when you talk about the defensive side of the ball, 44 sacks on the season, 16 interceptions, collective team effort. Talk to us about a few of the guys that have helped make a difference on this year's defense.
Well, we've had some really good additions to our ball club. John Kill Skipper, Rodney Jackson, Anthony Mullins. We're returning Brandon Varner. And Lee Allen Clark, who's been really good players for us. In the secondary, we've got a lot of guys returning that have been playing well for us with Montrell Meander and Percy Cargo and Jatarius Pouncey and Diamante Johnson, just exceptional athletes that are extremely bright and intelligent. And, when you have guys that are very, very smart and understand what they're doing, it makes you that much better on defense.
Now, I know you're a historian of sorts when it comes to this Grambling State University football program. Now, historically, dating before the football championship game was played, I think Grambling had something like total up to this point, something about, I think, like 27 SWAC football championships. But since this game has been played, dating back to 1999, the Tigers have won more SWAC football championships than any other school. So give us your thoughts on this being the final SWAC football championship. And is this a good thing or a bad thing for the conference, as, like the MEAC, basically, every game is the championship game in the MEAC?
Well, it's just one of those situations. It has to make sense financially, and if it doesn't make sense financially,